It's not an AMA, short recap about the games. This is a play-by-play. No Instagram, these holograms. Boy, these ain't the same. This out Harmon, you know we do things a different way. We got in the room, come join the team, but don't be in the way. Stay tuned, join that Patreon, we do giveaways. Magnetic and ATM, you know they on a different wave. Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, pick a day. This out Harmon, you know that we glad you here today. This not an AMA. This not an AMA. This not an AMA. Short recap about the games. This is the play-by-play.
Yeah. Yep. Week 14, Adam. Main slate. Almost done. Down to the Bills. Down to the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes with the chance to be the hero. This is going to happen.
What do you think? Where are you at on this?
I got a feeling this one ain't going to happen.
I mean, I think the Bills, obviously, to the story of the Bills, just trying to come back, get them in the playoffs, you know?
Yeah. You think the NFL's got a call in? Like, don't let this happen.
I don't know, but it feels like the narrative at least fits their desires today, you know?
That's fair. It was a hell of a week, buddy.
Yes, it was. Hell, it was.
Ooh. How'd you do? Your team's winning? They need to win?
Yeah. I don't think I'm not going to lose any of the games I was watching that would have really meant anything.
Right.
So I got one of the most needed to get me a bye, and everything else I think I'm going to win. There's still the crazy part is with 2 Monday night games and the Sunday night, like there's a couple that don't actually feel determined yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's so many players out there still in those 3 games that are so meaningful.
I need big performances here from bandwagon sticks and Xbox, right? Like in Best Ball Resurrection.
Those are not good people to normally bet on having best weeks, but
I'm the 4 seed. But I have more points than all the 3 seeds above me. But I'm a game behind. So I needed 2 people to get knocked off. I need like you and Eric and Righteous Bra. I don't give a fuck. 2 of y'all.
Give me a second. I don't know why I left my drink over there. Hold on 1 second.
What are you doing? Man, that's terrible. How dare you, buddy?
So, Mike, we should get into it though, right? We should get into the games because want to start with the Browns Jags, or I guess it's a good one.
Enough. Let's go Browns Jags. Mr. Joe Flacco made the thumbnail. Look at
him.
Holy
shit, man! I mean, Mike, what a pickup in some best ball leagues, no?
Oh, there's some talk in the Discord, man. We got some people putting bets down for comeback player of the year. It's on a heater.
What's your take on this, man? Talk to me.
They named him the starter. They named him the starter for the rest of the year. So he's playing well. Apparently, Joe Flacco in a not Jets offense looks really good, but I'm pretty sure you can say that for everybody, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The Jets, not good. I like Joe because he's just going out there and he's slinging it. It's not this vanilla, when they had P.J. Walker, they're just trying not to lose.
Joe just goes, they don't can I tell you what it is? They don't have to hide Joe Flacco. And when you don't have to hide somebody, you just run the offense. And honestly, Mike, I'm going to give you guys a stat, all right? In the last 2 years, there's been 2 quarterbacks. Count them 2. Go over 300 yards as Browns passer.
Ooh. I give you 1. Joe Flacco today.
Okay. Can you give me number 2? Jacoby Brisket.
Jacoby Brisket went over? Look at him.
So that's what happens when you get a guaranteed quarterback, man. You got, a couple over 300-yard performances from guys that are not him.
One of the things I thought interesting about this one, Joe Flacco's QBR was terrible for the day.
Yes.
His quarterback rating, we've been over that on this show. Like that ancillary, I don't know what the hell. Who uses it? You just want to tout it when Brock Purdy has a perfect rating or whatever. Who cares? But his QB rating wasn't good. Fantasy production, very good. And the Browns got the win. So I don't know what that tells you. And he put up stats. So I don't know some of these metrics to measure quarterbacks that we use. Do they really matter?
Right. I mean, I guess I don't know. Here's what I know. I mean, let me just tell you about Joe Flacco. It's helping the Browns win, and it's helping some of the best ball teams that I just threw a couple bucks fab at them, or got them for free, frankly. So I'm in. I'm in fantasy, and I'm in for the Browns. It's their best option to finish the year out by far, in my opinion.
Hot take alert. Playoff push in best ball. I'm sending a third for Joe Flacco.
Where are you at on Amari Cooper now with Joe Flacco?
You like his outlook a lot better than you do with a DTR or PJ Walker for sure, right?
Yeah.
Like Joe Flacco's got the ability to get him the ball, and he force-fed the hell out of him today. 14 targets. Now, it didn't come down with all of them.
No.
But you're not going to complain about 7 for 77 on 14 targets. The usage is there. Amari Cooper. Playoff stretch, Joe Flacco. That'd be that little sneaky stack, right? That to get some stuff done for you at the playoffs. I like it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's Amari Cooper doesn't cost a first no more.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you still haven't, if your deadline is about to hit on Monday, what would you send for Amari Cooper? I guess is the question.
Do you think you could send 2 seconds if one of them was like mid to early?
I think you might be able to.
And you could get Amari Cooper and Joe Flacco?
Why not? I think you might be able to, right?
Exactly. Exactly. I did have a guy try to send me Amari Cooper.
Okay.
Like trying to get him off his team here before this trade deadline comes up.
Okay.
And he wanted Chris Olave. So there are still the delusional people out there. So just be aware. Be aware
of that. All right. So then, Mike, I mean, is there any appeal at this point for Elijah Moore? I guess is the question I have for you.
Nope. I got none.
Yeah, I don't have any either. No, I'm good.
I mean, I'll roster him in a best ball. You know, if I could pick him up for a fourth, sure. But no, I don't have any real interest in Elijah Moore. That ship sailed long time ago.
I mean, best ball, I would treat him as if I would treat any other kind of roster clog or normal lineup receiver, I guess. Like that's what I treat him as. No interest in lineup. Best ball, I'm as interested as.
How about
I don't know. As free? I'm as interested as free gets, right?
I got about the same interest in Elijah Moore as I do Josh Reynolds. Right?
Gosh, that's really
and that might be a shot at Josh Reynolds. Like Josh Reynolds might actually play better.
It's kind of sad though, you know.
But you're not going to start him in the lineup league.
No.
And in best ball, it's a wide receiver with a job. Like that's it.
We're going to come back to David Njoku. I'm trying to get this his hologram up. Don't worry. We're going to talk about David Njoku.
Well, does he get a special one?
Well, he's going to at least get a blow up. No, I mean, you got to give him that, right?
He does deserve a blow up. He had a monster game.
Yep, I'm with you. All right, so maybe I can get it over here. What about T-Law? What was your thoughts on T-Law? Should he have stayed hurt?
He was an ass.
Should he have stayed hurt?
Yeah, he was ass. He was ass. I know they came back in the second half and he got some touchdowns. Like, so he kind of salvaged his fantasy day, but from a quarterback standpoint, he was ass most of the game, if not all of the game. He didn't look good. He moved around better than I thought he was going to, right? Like he had a couple scrambles there where I was like, oh, he's actually moving pretty well. But
yeah, he kind of like dove forward a couple times. He's running around a little bit. Like Dr. B. Harris, I'm sorry. He apparently moves just fine.
He does. So if you started him, I guess it paid off for you. It was okay. Like you dodged a bullet here. But you want me to evaluate his performance. From an NFL standpoint, he was doo-doo. He was horrible. He threw some terrible, terrible picks. But it's against the Browns defense too, Adam. So do we expect this moving forward with T-Law or false alarm now? I think we're safe. I think you start Trevor Lawrence with confidence for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right. There's no sound effect to it, especially because, Mike, it's a little close for comfort, a little close home with Njoku catching fire, man. But
the fireman.
Two touchdowns out of this guy, man.
He did. Massive blow up. And I think as long as Joe Flacco is at the helm, David Njoku is going to be one of those topper
fire him up.
Yeah, fire him up. It's on a heater.
Yeah, he's on a heater.
You don't
Speaking
mess
of
with the heater.
I'll tell you one thing, Mike. This was a tight end game because we had it on all of it, man. Evan Engram with a blow-up game too, right?
I sat Evan Engram in some spots too, and
that's tough, man. That's a tough sit, right?
I mean, he's scoring over 30 fantasy points this week in a non-tight end premium, Adam. Like think about those half points or those 0.75 premiums with all those catches. Oh, baby.
Yuck. That would be nice.
That's a weak winner right there, and you got it from a tight end.
Are you going to lose because of it?
No. All the matchups I needed to win, I'm winning. We're good. But still, you just like to have the most optimal, right?
Oh, of course, always. You rather, I don't know. Sometimes, Mike, you know what I found is I'll forget about stuff like that from earlier in the year. Maybe not the last game, but that stuff can actually ruin your points forward, which then makes your tiebreakers, right? And you know, sometimes if you're getting a bye or not. So
thankfully, I don't have to worry about it too much.
Nice. All right, Mike. Let's go to the Lions and Bears game, Mike. Lions and Bears. Oh my. Justin Fields, man.
Let's
Justin
go.
Fields.
He gets a colored hologram. Can we stop hating on Justin Fields?
Well, Justin Fields, Mike, I think at this point, I'm just curious your opinion now. The way he's been playing, the way this team's playing, they're winning games, so it feels good for them. They're going to continue to stick with the number one pick. We can get to the Panthers later, not touch much on them. But I think the Bears are in a position, I think, right now that I personally would much rather build around this guy. He's playing well, and you have just a ridiculous embarrassment of riches as far as draft capital to build around this kid. I think that would be the way I would imagine they're starting to lean, but I don't know. They're still going to have the number one pick.
I don't remember who it was who went at me on the YouTube comments about Justin Fields, but plug your ears if you didn't want to hear this part. I think personally, I'm with you, Adam. If I was the Bears, I would look to move the number one pick, right? Trade back, even if it's a spot or two,
right,
to New England, Arizona, one of these other teams, right? And then build around Justin Fields with all the extra that I have. But honestly, I don't think that's probably going to happen. I think they probably do end up taking Caleb.
Yeah,
and moving Justin Fields. And I think when they move Justin Fields, they might actually get a pretty decent haul because he's played well enough throughout this year, right?
Like what do you think, like a second-round pick?
Easily. I think it's easily a second-round pick for Justin Fields. Like if I'm one of these really quarterback-needy teams, no question about it. You saw the reports like Atlanta would be interested in him. Of course they would.
You would hope so.
Right. The Jets possibly could be interested in him. Like, there's going to be teams out there who are going to want to crack at Justin Fields. So, I think a second is very well within reach.
Mahomes is yelling.
I
no
personally would rather see him trade back, get some more draft capital, and build. You know, get another offensive line piece, another weapon. If you could trade back and still land Marvin Harrison Jr. and then pick up one of those awesome offensive tackles, that'd be a pretty good haul, right? And then you just build out around it. So. I don't think it's probably going to happen, though. It just doesn't feel like it. But you see what Justin Fields can do when Luke Getsy isn't to one hamstring and calling nothing but screen passes like last week. So,
I guess I would say probably either way, it's good. It's good for DJ Moore, man.
Good deal, yes. And that guy's still good. Surprisingly,
see that dripping with finesse, man.
So a guy who kind of plays a little bit like Deebo Samuel light. And is also kind of built like him, right? Just a little bit. It was weird to see that this was his first ever rushing touchdown today.
Yeah.
But congrats to him, man. I didn't think that would be a stat that I was throwing out here in 2020. Like, finally DJ Moore's getting his first rushing touchdown. I wouldn't have guessed that. Yeah, I love me some DJ Moore still. And I think the outlook in 24 is good, whether it's Fields or whether it's one of these other quarterbacks.
Ryan McDowell in the building, man. We got Puka and Cup. Don't worry, Fizzle. We'll get to your Puka and Cup. I know you called it on start sit, man. I can't deny it.
I also called it. Thank you.
That's true. But it wasn't quite as egregious as Fizzle was like Puka on every question, whether he was on or not on the question, right? Mike, I think we could put the Roschon Johnson thing to bed.
Yeah, I'm done.
Down to Foreman. Looks like, I don't know. I mean, even Khalil Herbert was not really out there much.
Do you trust any of these running backs?
I mean, no, I don't. I'm just, you got to go through the carousel. I guess if I'm playing one, it might be Foreman or Herbert. Mike, I'm not playing Roschon ever again in a lineup league. I didn't play him today, but unless he's the only running back left in the playoffs, maybe.
I trust Fields. I trust DJ Moore. I trust Cole Kmet. End of list.
Yeah, what about Cole Kmet today?
Good. Another good week from him. Good to see him become more than that. Always that potential, right?
That like hopeful boom week, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Kind of like where Trey McBride was heading into the season, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where we're like, oh, I think he's got talent, but we just never really see it.
Yeah, there's been some plays from him that like make you think, yeah, he's one of the tight ends that when you don't invest in one early, which you're finding more and more is the optimal strategy. This is a guy I want to have, man. I really do. Mike, let's get to the other team, the Detroit Lions. And Mike, I've been saying for a little bit, I think that as this team wins and does really well and should be in a position to do really well, when they lose, someone's going to be the scapegoat. And it's starting to feel like Jared Goff's that one, man.
He has not been very good here lately.
Nah.
Right. You're kind of seeing some of these shades of L.A. Rams at the end of his tenure, Jared Goff, aren't you? It doesn't feel good.
This is like, Mike, it's almost like it was the story didn't really fit, but when he got traded and left for, dead, Detroit was bad, and then they're starting to get better, and he's climbing up with them. It's like the story from L.A. is carrying over, and it's happening faster, but we've seen it before, so maybe now people are a little more worried. I'm just curious, I think, if this team, Mike, playing like this, where it's very hit or miss on offense, and when they play well, but when they're down, it's like, they have total horrible week. If they go one round and bounced, like one and out and one and done in the playoffs,
yep.
I really wonder if the Lions will be trying to do aggressive move-ups in the draft or figure out another quarterback solution. I really do.
Right. I'm kind of with you, Adam, where I think right now, if I got some Jared Goff, I'm looking to cash out while the feelings are still pretty good. You know what I mean? They're not at their peak, but they're still like, oh, well, at worst, he's top 15 quarterback with job security, right? I'm just telling you, it doesn't feel like the job security is that great, so I might want to try to cash out.
If you were, the deadline's not over, Mike, and you have Jared Goff and you're not in the playoffs, right? This is like, hey, can I get him to somebody, because we have some injuries again today, unfortunately. So
yes,
you see a Justin Herbert injury, maybe give him a holler, see what you can do. There's got to be other teams that need quarterback in your league. Jahmyr Gibbs, Mike, was better today. I don't know that anyone on this team was particularly great, but Gibbs is, I don't know. I would say Gibbs right now with the touchdown, 66 yards. He's just kind of safe outside of, like last week it was a dud week for him. This is like a safe week for him, I feel, right?
Floor week, right?
Floor week, there you go.
Wind up as an RB1.
Yes.
Probably.
Good call, floor week,
RB1-ish. Yes. Or top end RB2. That's a floor week for Jahmyr Gibbs. That's why we did the trade show, right? He's got the Ferrari logo.
Built
That's what
different.
I'm referring to him. That's forever. He's a Ferrari.
Amon-Ra's this week for contenders, I got to imagine Amon-Ra hurt people, man. 3 for 21. What? Mike, he's on my bench in best ball leagues everywhere.
Yeah. That one hurt.
Crazy.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
It's probably one of the other things that just contributes to Amon-Ra being where he's at. Sometimes in Dynasty ranks, like where we feel like we disrespect him outside of the CeeDee Lambs and the A.J. Browns and the Tyreek Hills of the world. But this is kind of why, man. You go as your quarterback goes sometimes.
Yeah, true.
All those other guys got quarterbacks. All those other guys got quarterbacks. And
speaking of quarterbacks, let's transition to the Chargers-Broncos, Mike, and Justin Herbert, man. What?
He's so frustrated. He's so frustrated. It doesn't feel like it's a good injury either. He had a big-ass wrap on his hand. Almost got ruled out right away. Chargers probably out of contention. Maybe Staley's getting his walking papers tomorrow. I mean, we don't really know what's going to happen with this. So this also kind of feels like a situation where we might not see Herbert the rest of the year, to be completely honest. That sucks.
They're not in a position to really force him back out there. Like, I'll tell you what, man. This is the year of the injured quarterback. I know we already told you, but man, Trevor Lawrence played today. Wasn't the greatest, but I don't know. We'll see what's up with Herbert. It did not look good. It's on his throwing hand. It's was it his middle finger or index finger?
There's the breaking news. Broken right index finger.
Index finger.
I can tell you this, as a guy who throws with his right fucking hand, it's done. Like, you ain't having him for the playoffs, boys.
Well, I don't know what the timeline would be for him to rush back, but like he's not doing that either, right? It's not
probably 3 to 4 weeks, best case scenario.
I mean, you're missing at least, I would imagine, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, closer to a month. But Mike, why would he rush back for this team right now?
Yeah.
What does that mean then for Austin Eckler?
Maybe he still gets some usage, right? It was actually better today than it had been in the last couple. It had been Sometimes it feels like they almost gave Austin Eckler the ball too much, and this is what happens with these small running backs.
The only problem is
sometimes their efficiency is kind of what you want. You want to keep them fresh and be explosive and change your pace, and it actually kind of felt like they got back to that a little bit because he did look like he had a little bit more juice.
I was going to say he looked
up the middle all the time.
He looked okay, and I don't know if that's maybe just, hey, listen, we know Isaiah Spiller's not the greatest, but let's give him a couple touches, give this guy. Keep him fresh.
This might actually be beneficial for Austin Eckler for the playoff run.
Correct.
If you're rostering him. Because Eastern Stick sucks, and he's probably not pushing the ball down the field a whole lot. I mean, they're not going to rely on him. He's not going to run and scramble around a whole lot like Justin Herbert can. So maybe it's just we're going to do a lot of checkdowns to Austin Eckler and get the ball to Keenan Allen. So
all right, Mike, so we got I'm going to ask you this. Does this Keenan Allen blow-up mean – he didn't have a blow-up today in the game, but my question is this a blow-up that's bad for him? Like, is this blowing up Keenan Allen right in before the playoffs for us?
I think it hurts a little bit, but he's still going to be a high-end wide receiver too at worst. So
yeah, so like today, 8 for 70 today, 8 for 69. So I think he'll still get a lot of volume. I mean, but I definitely think it hurts his upside.
It does. Hurts everybody on the Chargers. Now it makes Gerald Everett a non-play ever.
Yeah, we only ever played Everett because he was attached to Herbert, frankly, right?
Exactly.
So
he's attached to this offense, and now you're just going, nah, we're good, man.
What about the Broncos here? Javonte Williams, first time getting in the end zone all season.
Let's go.
What do you think? What'd you make of the offense as a whole, Javonte Williams, today?
The offense looked really good. It actually did. Russ kept him moving, kept him ahead of the sticks, made a couple big-time throws. Should have had even more yards and probably a longer touchdown, but Jerry Jeudy's ass.
Yes.
Jerry, pure ass.
I'm getting kind of very over the yeah,
I'm done, man.
I'm very over Jerry Jeudy, frankly.
I mean,
it wasn't highly efficient for Javonte, but you get almost 20 touches, you get in the end zone, like couple catches, getting the I don't know. I think he's a like high-end RB2. I guess I would probably put him in the mix of that.
Yeah, that'd be all right because he's getting the work.
Yeah.
Samaje Perine still not really getting touches. Jaleel McLaughlin, we haven't seen him since the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But Cortland Sutton, baby, we're just 3 years too early. That was our problem, Adam.
Well,
3 years too early on Cortland Sutton.
Cortland Sutton had a pretty sweet hologram. I couldn't get it to work, so here you get the regular one. But, man, you know what Cortland Sutton's been all year, Mike? Can I tell you what he's been? Disrespected. Just all year. He's been one of these like in a lineup league, he may not really matter that much. But if you had this guy in best ball teams, if you have this guy in a deep lineup league as a flex option, he's been way above just your average throw-in this year. So
right. I think probably one of the things, though, that you'd like to see is more volume. Maybe not so much volume going to Jerry Jeudy for one. Samaje Perine out of the backfield. Lucas Kroll at a target. Like, why?
Seth says Jerry Jeudy was overhyped as F. Yes, he was.
I think you would like more volume for Sutton to be consistent, but the one thing he's always in danger to, fantasy lineups is, like, he's probably going to get in the end zone, right? He's the red zone guy for them. And he's also apparently the deep shot down the field guy, too. So
for sure.
I mean, he's probably going to set you up for at least like one bust week, right, in the playoffs.
Yeah. No question.
But if your roster constructed correctly, and this is nothing more than your wide receiver 3 or you're a flex option, fine.
You're fine with
Completely fine.
Yeah.
And in best ball, Adam, you could get this guy for a second at some points, in the off season. So you're just doing backflips about how awesome that is.
What do you make of Russ?
Good. I mean, it's kind of like all year, right? Like, he has some down moments, but for the most part, he's actually been pretty productive. Now, he's highly disrespected on, keep, trade, cut for the entirety of the year.
No matter what he does, good or bad, right? It's just he's locked into that mid-late 20s. It's like, why?
I mean, you had the astronaut with 2 S's above him for a good chunk of the year. True. Right, so.
True.
Russ, and hell, if I'm looking to, I don't have a trade deadline, I'm looking to pivot off of a Justin Herbert, right? Let me go down to Russ and get some pluses on top. or a really good plus. Why
Yep.
not? He's pretty solid. Wouldn't be the worst thing to do.
Yeah, they got him currently still at 21. So,
Good Lord.
Mike, they basically say you could almost just flip your Kirk Cousins for him. 21 and 22. Imagine.
I would fucking take Russell Wilson in a heartbeat.
Who wouldn't? There's no way.
I will.
He's younger, and Kirk Cousins is coming back from injury.
I will add my late second to Kirk Cousins on a contending team.
All right, Mike. Let's get to the this Bengals Colts game, Mike.
Jake Brown.
Jake the Snake, man.
He's got a hologram.
Not just that. Got the real snake, man. Got the snake. You know.
Got a real snake. Let's go.
What's going on, man?
Row.
What's going on?
2 weeks in a row, Jake the Snake coming out and balling.
What's going on with Jake the Snake, man? Is this? I think at this point we have to at least talk. Is this Fugazi, or are we like? Are you gonna roll out Jake Browning in the playoffs? I guess is really what people want to know and need to know.
I'm rolling fucking Jake Browning out in the playoffs.
That's crazy, man. I'm not saying you shouldn't. It's just think where we are at this point, dude.
Right. I'm rolling him out. Here's one thing before the weirdos get in here, okay, and start with the talking about maybe Joe Burrow isn't as good as we think he is because you see Jake Browning putting up numbers.
Yeah.
Right? Don't let that. Joe Burrow's fucking good at football, okay? So don't take that from it. But here's one of the things, Adam. He has a great situation around him. He's got a dynamic run after the catch threat in Jamar Chase where you just get him the football. He has now healthy a great 6'4", 215-pound deep ball wide receiver who can win jump balls, right? He's got a tight end room of, like Eric would say, a three-way fuckfest, but it's least does things.
Sure. Yeah, you have, Tanner Hudson, Drew Sample, 2 catches for 4 yards today, right? First down, big first down.
A decent enough offensive line. He's got that hammer running back where it's not sexy, but he just churns out yards and gets the hard ones and can catch.
Well,
and
we can say this. You can say not sexy.
Chase Brown. Brown looked explosive as shit today. So, yeah. I'm rolling Jake Brown out for the playoffs. The only one you probably worry about, he does get the Chiefs, right? Your fantasy championship would be the Chiefs. But hell, it could be a shootout game.
If he gets you to the fantasy championship, if you've been playing him and you get there, go down with it, right? Mike,
but the next 2 weeks, Adam, 15 and 16, your quarterfinals and semifinals, the Vikings, dog shit defense, the Steelers, who we just watched get gaped by Bailey.
We'll play it. That's fair. I mean, you could say unsexy for Joe Mixon, Mike, but I'll tell you one thing. It's been sexy for my teams. I'll put them in on fire, man.
There you go, man. I mean, it's just been unsexy because yards per carry are dog shit. Sometimes he looks like he's running in mud. And other times it looks like he's the most explosive player on the field. You don't know.
He had those. Through the air, another 3 for 46 today too, man.
Good shit, man. Jake Browning, this Bengals offense, I don't have any concerns about it for the fantasy playoffs. I'm playing them all.
Fair.
Playing them all.
What happened to Zach Moss? I thought this was the guy that was going to take over this Jonathan Taylor workload and just run with it,
Yeah, it's supposed to be the league winner, right? So far,
frankly, I didn't play him. I don't have him in many lineup leagues, but I was expecting a lot more of these teams in best ball. I traded a couple, a nickel and a dime for him here, and didn't get anything out of him.
Now, potentially, he gets the Steelers next week, right? So if JT's still not back, your first-round playoff matchup, I'm fired up Zach Moss everywhere. I'm just doing it. I watched the Steelers defense get gapped.
Yeah.
Gapped. And then he gets the Falcons if JT's still not back, so not the worst thing.
Minshew's Minshew is a tale of two quarterbacks, it feels like, man.
Two Minshews?
Week in and week out, you just don't know who the hell you're going to get.
No.
This guy today did not look very good. He had a great game. What was it, last week? Or were they on a bye last week? 2 weeks ago, was it?
Yeah. He's kind of been up and down here lately, hasn't he? Good week, bad week, good week, bad week.
Yep,
this was
back and forth, man.
Week. The only thing that's consistent about this Colts offense, Michael Pittman Jr.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, no touchdown, but another 90 yards in a game they're just down trailing. The one piece that you're just like, at this point, I feel like he's the most auto-started receiver in the not, top
tier?
10 elite tier. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's a threat for wide receiver 1 every week. And that's kind of been his floor. Right?
Yes.
That's not even his ceiling.
Dude's been really, really good. Yep.
But you're going to get 8, 9 for 100, right? He's had some 11 catch weeks. Like, if this is going to be your thing, this is the targets that you're getting every single week, and these are the amount of catches you're going to get. And they use him so much on this screen game, so much on these screens. You got to start him. There can't be too many more wide receivers in the fantasy space that you'd rather have than Michael Pittman Jr. right now.
No. Gosh, no. I mean, I don't know, Mike. We've had this discussion. I know people are kind of against us on it, but he's a top 15 option for me in Dynasty even, too. So
Easily.
Yep.
Easily.
Easily, it is what it is, man. I know people are not gonna feel like it's popular and it's fun, but it is what it is for me. Mike, I'll say this: this was not even a very good Alvin Kamara game, frankly, but he still found a way to get in the end zone for our teams. So we'll take it, despite it not being the game we were looking for, right?
It probably helps that Derek, helps for the people playing against Alvin Kamara that Derek Carr was ass.
Right.
He spent more time, I think, when I was watching this game throwing the ball into the dirt or just like weird shovel passes going nowhere. He threw it to his offensive tackle one play. I saw that. That was pretty cool. The tackle didn't know what to do with it. He was like, fuck, do I catch it? Oh, no, I can't.
Right. Yep.
Shit, my bad. So, even then, this is a floor game for Alvin Kamara, and you'll take it. We'll take it. Pretty consistent.
I gave the same, it's not a true blow-up game from Olave, but he got in the end zone, so he saved you. But it wasn't really the blow-up game we're looking for, man, frankly.
Yeah, that one definitely didn't deserve an explosion.
Nope. It just was what we had queued up, so we rolled with it. Because here's the thing. In this game,
that
Mike,
was a fugazi.
You had two guys that were played that got saved by touchdowns because you had Jimmy Graham score a touchdown. Nobody's playing. We had Derek Carr. I don't even imagine people were playing in general. Nobody really got to do anything exciting in this game. And frankly, the other side, Mike, is just Mike, this Panthers team. I'm going to put them up here because I think at this point we have to at least discuss, like, is Bryce's value really going to retain from the community aspect? I'm starting to get concerned if that's the case, frankly.
Probably not. Like, it feels like it's just
13 of 36. Like, I get it, man. Your team's bad. This situation's awful, but that's crazy.
I'm gonna give him credit. I'm still gonna be in on Bryce Young. I actually tried to get him this week. We got fucked over by an auto accept trade block that wasn't really real. You'll have those sometimes, though, right? People don't always mean what they put on the auto accept block, but I'll still come in on get quite a few shares of Bryce Young. But yeah, I don't think it's as safe at him. Like, he's gonna take a pretty big a pretty big step next year, right? Yeah. They're gonna have to get some pretty good weapons. He's gonna have to have some explosive games early in the season to recover this dynasty value. Like, it's just almost evaporated at this point.
Mike, I mean, listen, I don't care. I know Mike's an Eagles fan, and he's money's money, man. How about those Cowboys? Good luck tonight. Huge game. Master Nader is correct. It is a huge game. Mike has a rocking a CD jersey on the line, so
right.
We'll see what happens.
Fizzle's gotta give me 20 bars about Timothy Brown if he loses.
All right, Mike. Let's see here. Let's get to the Ravens and Rams. Lamar
Dude.
Jackson. What do you? Come on, let's talk about it. What do you think?
You know, I love Eric, but this morning when he was on this bullshit about weather games, and I was like, I just don't want to hear it. Adam, this is proof point, right? We got to see two of them today.
Damn, you can't just...
I don't fucking care about weather games unless it's a blizzard. And I mean by blizzard, 30-mile-an-hour winds, driving snow. Like, think about what went on with the Bills and Patriots a few years ago. That's a weather game I give a shit about. Some rain, I don't care. I don't care.
Why'd you have
Lamar Jackson.
I had it all ready.
It wasn't just him. I saw it all over Twitter.
No, I know. I'm just saying what I was... And listen, here. You wanted it? Okay, here it is. Keaton Mitchell.
Ooh, he was ice cold, too. I wasn't going to get on him about that one. But the weather game. Lamar's awesome. Lamar's amazing.
Well, this is just a take, one take.
Freezing cold.
It's a rough day for him.
Weather games. Lamar was awesome. Again, He had a couple throws, though, where it was like, damn it, Lamar, like, if you would have hit that, you could have had, like, an awesome game to being, like, historic. Could have been.
Mm-hmm.
But they got some guys running wide open downfield. OBJ had nobody around him on his touchdown. Isaiah Likely, same thing. But Lamar stepped up, made plays when he needed to. And pretty much the entirety of their running offense.
Yep. OBJ going to need to get some new hologram potential here, too. I mean, he had a nice day, man.
Been disrespecting this guy all year, and here he is, just keeps putting up points.
I'm curious to see what the snap share percentage looks like this week because it was it felt like it was a lot higher than some of these weeks when I said it was kind of lower. So
he's tough to start, right, because he's so up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Lineup, but best ball, I don't know. Would you throw a late second at him? A couple thirds?
Definitely a couple thirds. Late second, that feels like you're definitely going to burn it. But I don't know. It's not the worst thing you could do. I don't mind it, frankly. He gives you an opportunity to get some pretty nice games like this one. So
yeah.
What'd you think of Gus Edwards, man?
He's been fucking dead, man.
I know. What happened?
He's been MIA. Gus bus, the wheels fell off this fucking bus, right? I guess it's one of those buses you see like in like the junkyard. It's like sitting on blocks.
Yeah.
Right? All the windows are broke out. That's Gus bus right
It's all over. The bus is dead. I mean,
yeah.
But the thing about Gus bus, though, has always been, like, reality has always been it's touchdown or bust, though, for him, right? Like, all these weeks that you saw him doing things, it was him getting in the end zone. So,
well, even the usage was, like, okay, right? The carries. Now, the yardage may not have been there, and you knew you weren't getting shit in the receiving game. But, like, the touchdowns were, like, what made you a low-end RB2 to, possibly being a low-end RB1 was the touchdowns, and all of a sudden, like, that shit's gone, too. Right? That's terrible. I
mean, that's where, we put that up there for Eric. Shout out to Eric, who was just all over Keaton Mitchell to start sit today. But, like, at least for Keaton Mitchell, Mike, he outworked, he got more carries than Gus Edwards, so if you were going to look at anything, it'd be one of those where, all right, like Keaton Mitchell may be starting to get more work. It would be nice because he's the efficient, game-breaking type talent. So
right.
That would be the way we'd like to see
pass. That. It's kind of like the Bears' backfield. Who do you want to start every week? No one. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to
That's fair. I'm just saying in regards to, like, if you were going to play somebody, if you had to, you'd like to see it be Mitchell and not Gus Edwards. Isaiah Likely, man. This was not a likely performance that I would have predicted at all. That big touchdown was massive.
He's done almost next to nothing. Now I know last week or 2 weeks ago he had some usage that was encouraging, right, as far as targets go.
Yep.
And receptions, but you didn't see this coming.
Nope.
Right? I don't think anybody did. So good on all those people who picked him up after Mark Andrews. Now I know he probably got you 2 or 3 L's since Mark Andrews has been out because he did fucking nothing.
What? Now let's get to the Rams. Obviously, the Ravens win a massive game here. Hard fought one by the Rams, but for fantasy purposes, Mike, the Rams gave you everything you wanted. Matt Stafford, man. I know we were saying to fade him because of the weather, and look at what we got here, man. 3 touchdowns, no picks, almost 300 yards through the air.
He did his thing.
Yeah, it was not the most efficient. I think it was like close to 50%. But listen, you'll take it in fantasy, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll take it in fantasy. He's going to be a top, 7-8 quarterback on the week, probably when things are all said and done. Not too bad for Matt Stafford, considering where we were disrespecting him all the way down to, but not including Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, so listen, no touchdowns, but Kyron Williams' workload is just
money.
And this dude is feeling like a hammer, like a dong, like that right there, man. You just play him every week. I don't care who they're playing. This was impressive performance for no touchdowns, honestly, in my opinion.
Are you holding on to Kyron if you're not competing right now?
Honestly, Mike, here's what I'll say. Not particularly, but I find it hard to believe that people are really going to pay the Kyron price. Like, what do you think Kyron should cost in a Dynasty league right now?
Some people have some delusional thoughts, right? Like they
of course,
right.
Firsts and extras.
Yeah, first plus.
Right.
I think 2 seconds is probably where I'm at with him. I
think if I could get 2 seconds and one of which was non-playoff, I'd I don't care, man. I'm gone. He's way gone for me. Yeah.
What if they were both late?
I think I'd probably still be willing to take it. I'd have to really kind of consider the league settings and stuff, but for the most part, I think I would take it. The one thing is, man, if you become Sean McVay's guy and Sean McVay's offense, it's just that is just fantasy gold in and of itself. As much as I love Kyron's game, the way he's been playing, it's really that role has just been awesome. Look at it throughout time, right? So.
Yeah. But then I've also seen these stretches of Cam Akers where he was Sean McVay's guy for like 4 or 5 games at a time, and then
right. But can I tell you what the difference is? Can I tell you what the difference is? We've never seen somebody, as much as I defended Akers, Akers was my guy. We never saw somebody do it from start to finish for a season. Like that's the one difference about Kyron. So for me, I would sell.
Lucky for him that he had that whole middle section off where he was injured.
Could be.
So he couldn't fuck up being Sean McVay's guy.
That's true. Well, I think no one else out there was. They had to call a guy off the couch. They got Royce Freeman in there, but Puka, man, why we ever not playing Puka Nacua?
You guys asked me. All right.
Hey, listen, I'm talking to myself.
Okay.
I'm asking the question for anybody, including me, that said to sit him because of weather. Mike, that catch he had a first down.
Money.
On the sideline, on the diving, like right there on the ground, got a pipe. Man, that's one of those like real up and close. You're like, man, how do you not root for this kid, bro? How do you not root for this kid?
I'm not even the Puka guy, so
I know.
Imagine my disbelief this morning when some fucking rain was the reason Adam was gonna sit Puka Nacua.
I believe Derek's forecasting weather. I think we need to talk to the old Dick Goddard over there and see if that's actually the case. So. Listen, I'm not going to disrespect Puka no more unless it's, like you said, torrential downpour, truly a blizzard, something egregious. I'm good. I'm going to keep playing him. And let's say this, man. Cooper Kupp was a little bit back today, buddy. I sat him on a team, and I'm okay without him playing, but do you put him back in the starting lineup? What's up? What do you got?
We have a short. What we were talking about last week about Cooper Kupp maybe dusty, right? A little bit crusty, a little bit dusty.
They had to put that to rest, right?
And I was just getting ready to upload that short, and then Cooper Kupp just, decided to go off.
He said, "Listen, man,
we
I saved
put that
you.
shit back in the archives."
Don't tonight. This is not the time. This was a really nice performance to see from the Rams offensively as a whole. Everybody wanted to.
They've looked like shit for the
last
few weeks outside of Kyron, right? So it's nice to see him kind of come back.
Good. All right, Mike. We had a Kyle Pitts sighting, or did we?
Who's that?
I don't know. Apparently the hologram won't even come up, so we're just.
That should tell you everything you need to know right there.
Doesn't it?
Kyle Pitts is still alive?
Apparently not. Bijan had a good day too.
Hey, he was all right. Still hate Arthur Smith there because even like late in the game, he's using way too much Tyler Algier. It's pissing me off.
Mm-hmm.
But he got the L, which is the most important thing. All right, people, let's come together. Let's root for anybody who's playing the Falcons.
There's Kyle Pitts.
There's a Pitts hologram.
There he is.
Adam, just think about that. Like, we're excited about Kyle Pitts having a day because he caught one long touchdown.
Because he caught a 30-something yard touchdown, right?
Outside of that, he didn't do fucking anything else, really.
You know what that is, though? It just shows you that he's capable because he's an athlete, but that's it, right?
He's capable of catching a long touchdown on a busted coverage.
Yep, and that's
even Arthur Smith can't hold him back from that.
And outside of that, we still see, if it wasn't for that, the role would be no different. So that's unfortunate there, but.
Desmond Ridder still sucks, even though for fantasy purposes, he does just fine.
Yep, that's true. Very, very true. Drake London, man, had a real nice freaking game.
That's a dude.
Where are you at with Drake London right now?
Here's the thing, man. Like he's a little bit capped and it's kind of spotty to like start him. Like you don't ever really feel good about it.
You don't feel completely secure.
I think we were asked, and I sat him on one for Amari Cooper. I don't feel great about it on a week-to-week basis about starting it, but you see the talent there and like the commanding presence he has. And it's, if I love Michael Pittman, I love Drake London, right? So,
yeah, for sure.
Images,
for sure,
spitting
man.
images, right? These kind of dudes.
He is so smooth too. I think he's more smooth than Pittman even is, man. Talent wise, you gotta love everything about Drake London. But to your point, I think the problem is like Ritter is not likely to give you this week in and week out of 350 through the air, right?
I don't even know if it's like Ritter, because I don't think that Ritter's that much less talented than Gardner Minshew. But the difference is Arthur Smith versus Shane Steichen.
Well, it's I would say that's true too. But the other thing is like Arthur Smith's already in the way, and the fact that you have that going on, and you have the fact that they don't have a good quarterback, not reliable, definitely. It's not an offense that I really like to have much of a part of. And this is a game they ended up losing too, so they're kind of forcing the throw more, right?
I think the community's kind of souring on him, so this is kind of a guy that you want to target now, not right after this game, right? Because it's fresh in everybody's memory. But, week 15, if you don't have a trade deadline, 16, when he inevitably has one of those, 3 for 30 games because Arthur Smith's a fuckbag, then I think I want to roll the dice, right? I want to roll the dice that the situation changes that much for Drake and becomes a little bit more consistent. And then that's when I want to strike.
Rashad White, man.
He's on fire!
Listen,
bad, Rashad White.
Seth, by the way, yes, thank you. Please like and subscribe, everybody who's here watching
Seth?
with us. Appreciate you guys. Mike, Rashad White is maybe one of the biggest league winners at running back right now.
My fault, Rashad. My fault.
This dude's been really freaking good, man.
Runs the ball well, catches the ball even better. Looks explosive. Everything we liked about him coming out. And he's kind of added this a little bit of he doesn't just fall down anymore, which is nice.
Yep.
Go watch his college tape. This dude used to fall down at a sneeze, right? Kind of like James Cook. But again, also kind of like James Cook, shored that part up just a little bit. That was all he really needed. So Rashad White's been pretty awesome. Now he's still a running back, and I'm not going to fall into the trap of buying young running backs because I think they have 2, 3, 4, 5 more years. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy the Rashad White show for 2023, and then I'm still selling his ass in the offseason now.
Yep. Baker was,
okay.
He had 2 touchdowns, which really made his day okay, honestly. He was 144 yards and 14 completions.
He missed some big throws to Mike
Evans.
Evans.
Yes, he did.
Some big throws.
I was just going to say, and that's the only reason that, frankly, Mike Evans today doesn't deserve the color hologram. One catch, 8 yards. I changed the jersey. I couldn't even do it, No.
And he also screwed himself. He could have had that touchdown, but his hand came down literally a split second before his right foot did. So,
yep.
If he decides to not put his hand out and, maybe went with the elbow or even tucked it in, that's a touchdown catch. Yep. Is what it is. Come that close. But Mike Evans has been so damn good for us all season. We'll just let this one slide, Mike. It's week 14. It's not really a playoff game. We'll be fine.
We talked about James Cook, so we'll pull him up here. We'll go to the Chiefs and Bills, which was happening as we started the show, finishing, I guess I should say. The Chiefs ended up losing 20-17 to the Buffalo Bills. Mike, what'd you make of James Cook today? 10 carries, 58, but had a huge day in the ground through the air. 5 catches, 83 yards and a tutty.
They got him heavily involved in the pass game, right? Designing plays for him, wheel routes, using them in space, just like you should with James Cook. Finally, maybe Joe Brady knows something, right? Joe Brady did some shit with Clyde Edwards-Helaire once upon a time. Maybe he knows. So James Cook, I really like him. It's probably the only thing, Adam, because I traded Trevor Lawrence in a best ball, and I got Geno Smith plus James Cook plus Trey McBride back. Geno Smith didn't play today. Got a groin, may not play next week. Trevor Lawrence suited up. He's not out for the fantasy playoffs like I thought. James Cook at least saved this fucking thing for me, so thank you, James. He saved the trade.
What about this? What about Dawson Knox outperforming Dalton Kincaid in 1 catch for 21 yards? I'm sorry, 5 catches, 21 yards for Kincaid today.
Do you remember when we were talking about Trey McBride and how high you rank him as far as these young tight ends go, right? Sam Laporta, Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah.
Maybe you flip those guys.
Flippity-floppity? You putting McBride over Kincaid?
So Kincaid didn't really do shit when Dawson Knox was there at the beginning of the year, right? Mm-hmm. Dawson Knox gets hurt. Kincaid takes off. First damn game back with Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid kind of went back to being irrelevant, man.
Mike, here's the thing, though.
You can't make this shit up. I don't know what to tell y'all.
Here's the thing, though. If you combine their stats, right? If it was just a Kincaid, so if you had 8 for, what did that be, like 57? Would be like, all right, like, not the greatest of days, but like, tight end premium, we're still in. 5 for 21. I think there's plenty of better days ahead. I think 5 catches still is the thing that you're gonna, kind of. Yeah. I personally will look at, but I guess Dawson Knox somehow is lowering the ceiling of Dalton Kincaid is what I don't like.
I got to see the snap share numbers afterwards when those.
That's fair too.
Like how much was Dawson Knox actually on the field in the first game back?
Mike, let me ask you this:
how much did it pull Kincaid off versus the week prior?
Let me ask you this: where are you at with Stephon Diggs right now? It feels like I don't know how I want to put this, but he's just. He really hasn't been of late the Stephon Diggs that we've been accustomed to knowing for a while.
Do you think Father Time might be catching up?
I don't know. It doesn't feel like it. Maybe that's like when I watch him play, it doesn't feel like he's losing a step. I don't know if there's any. I don't know. I don't want to make anything of the animosity this offseason or the rumors and all that BS. I really don't know what's up with Stephon Diggs though. But he's not been this wide receiver 1 that you were hoping for, honestly, like lately. He really hasn't been.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just kind of been a little bit more disciplined. It was going to be more like the Tyreek Hill. Not 2K Tyreek, but, normal Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, so like, for example,
we're not really been that way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to knock him. He's been okay. He's just not been the what do you put it? He hasn't had this crazy high ceiling I think he's had in years past. Like to your point, like Tyreek Hill has been this year.
Yeah. I say if you want to knock him down to like back end wide receiver 1 territory in Dynasty, that's probably fair.
Yep, I think that's probably about appropriate too. What about Josh Allen?
Gabe Davis though?
Oh yeah, we got to get the Gabe, man. What about Josh Allen? Let's get Gabe Davis.
Nothing.
Gabe Davis. I was gonna put him up, but let's just not.
Josh Allen didn't even really have that great of a game. But he just fucks around and shits out like elite QB2 numbers at worst.
I know, man.
That's Josh Allen.
I know. Him and Jalen Hurts both, man. They can't really have a really terrible week. It's not possible.
That's why they're the GOATs at the quarterback position right now. Patrick Mahomes is not in this category anymore.
No, you know what's funny though, Mike? This is interesting that this game is happening and that we saw both of them having this. Mike, can I tell you? Listen, I'm not going to say that Anthony Richardson is as good as those two guys are, but this is why I was so high on Anthony Richardson, Mike, is that when Patrick Mahomes plays well, he's going to play as good, if not better, than anyone on planet Earth, right? Mm-hmm. When he has weapons and all that. But Patrick Mahomes doesn't have the rushing floor that both Allen does and Jalen Hurts does, right? A guy that has rushing floor like that, even Lamar you've seen, he hasn't run as much as he has in the past, but like we get disappointed in Lamar, but Lamar hasn't had a whole lot of these clunker games. He's really had just some more of these mid games, which is the same kind of idea. Right. The rushing element of a quarterback is massive for their floor. It really, really is, man.
The other thing about Lamar too is he's not built like Hurts. He's not built like Allen. He's not built like A-Rich, where like, those guys are goal line threats every single time. Like you can almost set the floor for Jalen Hurts at 1 rushing touchdown per game, right? Because of the tush push and the fact that he's fucking strong.
The brotherly shove and the way he runs the ball, man. He's almost guaranteed a touchdown, right? The floor is crazy. Crazy.
So even Lamar has like a lower ceiling than some of those other guys. So I get it.
I
Patrick
agree.
Mahomes has been mid as fuck though. Like
Mike, let me just ask you this question. Frankly, like how much should we dip him, if at all, or like what are you going to do with him going into the offseason?
QB3 and no higher.
Okay, and then we got, this wasn't a great game from Kelsey, but like honestly, 6 for 83 it's been better than what we've seen before. Where are you at?
Right, he's fine.
Yeah,
he's
I'm
fine.
with you. He's still fine. I want to see one of these like Kelsey. It's at least good to see the usage here, but I want to see one of these big games in the playoffs, man. Because right now, teams that are relying on Kelsey, he's not been giving you that Kelsey, nuts high-end output. Mike, Rashee Rice today, I think though, is the big story for me. I mean, he had the fumble, which was a big detriment, but 7 catches, 72, and a touchdown. It's starting to become like there's no other options, and Rashee Rice is being the benefactor, right? He is the one. He's the guy. Yep.
This is that dude. He just brings something different than all the other wide receivers do.
Yep.
Just something about him. And Patrick Mahomes keeps trusting him, keeps giving them these really good target shares. He's putting up good numbers. I mean, if you're not in on Rashee Rice at this point, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm with you.
Which is nuts to say because literally the rest of the Dynasty community hasn't caught up to it. It's a rookie receiver putting up these numbers with Patrick fucking Mahomes.
Profile.
Yet he's still being disrespected.
Because I feel like the profile for people, but then also it's the I feel like now because everyone was wanting a Chiefs receiver so bad that wouldn't happen, now is he kind of catching a little bit of that? Like, I don't know. We've seen these guys come and go. I don't really know what to make of it. I'm just...
We all assume that they're, I've probably seen this 8 billion times, right? The Chiefs are going to massively overhaul their wide receiver room in the offseason. That's what I said last season, and it never fucking
All right,
Who's
Mike.
to say we don't go in? It's Rashee Rice again.
All right, Mike. Let's get to the Niners, Seahawks, and let this one roll for a second. I got a little something for you. All right.
Oh shit.
What's up, y'all? What's up, Red? Thanks for the bite.
This dude has been the Debo, man, bullying folks. He has been ridiculously good lately, and whew, another big game for Debo Samuel. Where are you at with him right now?
I love him. I've loved him for a while, Adam. You and I have disagreed on Debo many times.
Yep.
I think Debo is fucking amazing, though. And when he's healthy, there's not a lot of wide receivers that are more impactful to fantasy football than Debo. There's not a lot of wide receivers more impactful to the team than Debo Samuel. So,
well, that part for sure.
The problem has always been health. Just the
Yes.
way he plays, the way they use him sometimes. Like, that part can be sketchy. And I get your concerns with him, too. Like, what he does well can be taken away from him in a moment's notice because of the way he plays, right? Like, you're one real bad injury away from just fucking being irrelevant forever.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for
awesome.
me has been that there's constantly multiple other options on this team. They don't have to have him to be like they don't have to have him be the workhorse running back or receiver to be successful. He's obviously a big part of their NFL success. But Mike, at this point, like if you could tell me and guarantee this type of usage week in and week out, I mean, there's not a discussion for me on my end. I would drop all my Debo hate from the beginning. It's a combination of injury.
Is there any coincidence that the Niners had a 3-game losing streak
without
Debo?
No.
And
then
now
he
the
comes
Niners
back,
team,
yes.
the Niners offense, Brock Purdy, the rest of the offense, the whole team has
Featuring
general
him.
has
Featuring
never
him.
looked fucking better than they do right now in these last few games with Debo back.
Well, because here's the thing, Mike, and I know that they're not playing the same position per se, right? Like Brandon Ayuk's the clear X. Today we saw like Debo have a great game, but my thing is that like the other issue is the two of these guys, like Brandon Ayuk, having a good game while Debo had a good game was a big thing for me to see too. Like the offense being able to support all of them, and we'll get to all the other pieces here, but Debo right now on an absolute heater. Put this man in your lineups, and if you have him, don't let go.
And if you can go acquire him on a contender, if somebody's got him on a rebuilder or non-playoff team, do what it takes, man. What, first and second? Shit, I'll give you JSN straight up for Debo for the playoff run. And people lose their fucking minds.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here, this is probably one of the worst times to go acquire Debo because he's been so good. But at the same time, you're looking at a three week window where he's playing his best football and could win you a title. So why the hell not?
People hate that, though, right? Every
Sure.
time I bring that up, they're like, that's terrible advice. I'd never do that.
I saw somebody was pretty upset about that. They said they're going to stop listening to us. I mean, well, hey, listen, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Hold on, let this Kittle one ride a little bit too here.
I'm a great content creator. Right, Juice? Looks like football, baby. I don't care how simple they are. Backflips really impress me.
George Kittle, man, what'd you make of today?
You would have liked to see the usage a lot higher. But this was a Debo, Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey week, and he was kind of on the outside. But he did have that huge reception where even when they were holding him, it didn't matter. He'd still take it to the house.
That's the thing. I mean,
that's George Kittle for you in a nutshell right there.
The crazy part about this week, Mike, is the fact that this is really what was going to be the Kittle down game, right? Like one of these guys is going to normally have a down week, and this was supposed to be Kittle's turn, and he ended up making, he does what Kittle does. I don't know.
Fucking goddamn Cowboys just going right down the field too, buddy.
I know. I'm trying to get out of here quicker for you.
You're good. You're good. All right, I don't expect a lot.
Well, this is probably a bad time. This is probably a bad time for this one then, right? What'd you make of Brock Purdy?
He's fine.
Fine.
I was impressed by him because he threw the ball down the field this week, right? So before y'all get on me, like, I was actually impressed with Brock Purdy. He threw the ball down the field. He threw some fucking dots. Like, if you, Adam, you're going to tell me this is how Brock Purdy's going to play, rest of the season, even with Debo out. Like, if Debo were to go down, and this is how Brock Purdy's going to play from here on out, that's a good quarterback. He played really, really well today. Really, really well today.
Took a lot for you to admit that, huh?
Well, people are getting mad at me last week, and I'm saying, like, just go watch the fucking game. I watched the Eagles get their ass kicked. What'd he do? Throw the ball 5 yards to Debo, and Debo takes it 70 to the house. Like, you want me to give all the credit to the quarterback because your fucking receiver's a tank? No. But this week, Debo did do his own thing later on in the game, but that deep touchdown pass was right on the fucking money, right there to Debo. Like, Debo didn't have to do a lot. Seahawks covered Debo Samuel with Jamal Adams. That's definitely a fucking choice. I don't know if that's one most people would make. Jamal Adams kind of fucking sucks, but okay. And then the dot he threw to Kittle was money. And then he threw a couple downfield to Brandon Ayuk that were right on time. Now,
sure were.
He did have one earlier in the game. I think his first quarter was terrible. If you go look at Brock Purdy's first quarter stats.
It was a slow start. It was a slow start. That was the other impressive thing to me was it was a slow start today.
Right, he didn't do anything in the first quarter other than throw an interception. So
they're down 10-7 to Seattle. So they end up.
I was impressed with Brock Purdy today. Now, if he can keep this up, if they don't have a Debo or anything like that going forward, and he can still push the ball down the field, this is how you're going to use Brock Purdy. This is that dude for him.
Yep.
But if we revert back to this the Philly game where it's just like we need Debo, we need CMC. I don't know what to tell you. Right? Like, you need your quarterback to make some big throws, which he did today at least. And
listen, Christian McCaffrey just stays on fire. He just stays on fire. So
why do you think Eric and I were talking about do whatever you can on a contender to try to get Christian McCaffrey on your team?
Because it's just good advice.
He's different, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about the potential number one WAR player in most of your leagues for a reason.
Let's go to Mike. Let me just ask you this: what do you make of this Kenneth Walker day today?
He did get hurt a little bit, banged up. San Francisco defense, it is what it is. I'm not gonna take too much.
It's not the most ideal game to come back to, right?
No, not if you're expecting big things from Kenneth Walker, but you still start him.
Yeah,
I did really like that run he had where he took what should have been like a 12-yard loss.
Where's Fizzle on this CD touchdown down here, man? I'm waiting for a Fizzle to,
Yeah.
DK, I think, Mike, I don't know. With Drew Lock, it was, it's not Geno Smith, I guess I'll say it that way.
It's not.
It's not Geno Smith. JSN's, nice little run kind of came to a halt today, too. So.
Yeah, it kind of came to a screeching halt, huh? 49ers defense will do that to you, though, won't they?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm making too much out of that. Mike, I mean, can I tell you that it feels like, I don't even know if we touch on it, like I can kind of skip. I didn't even realize at a certain point, like I keep forgetting the Raiders and the Vikings played today. It was that bad.
No one cares. Josh Dobbs is terrible. I've been trying to tell people that. Like, it's been a nice story, but fuck out of here.
10 of 23 for 63 yards, and then we get some Nick Mullins in there, man.
Hey, at least the Verg, you remember we were talking about him on 40 chess, right?
Yeah.
Like, listen, if I was you, I would have traded Joe Burrow before the trade deadline went off because you're a contender, number one seed, yada, yada, yada. I said he does have Josh Dobbs, but I wouldn't be feeling very good about that.
And here's the thing, Mike. Here's the thing. We'll just skip this game, frankly. No players of consequence really in this game to talk about. But the Vikings got a dub in Justin Jefferson's return. So
they sure did. Hey, before we get out of here, though, I need my Zach Wilson hologram.
Here's the last game. This is the last game we're going to talk about, and we're going to get Zach Wilson. I don't have a blow-up for him, but the kid, man, is how do we put this? I think you put it best. The best quarterback on this roster by quite a bit.
Yeah. The best healthy quarterback.
I don't know how like that was ever really that crazy of a thing to say. Like, I mean, I know Zach Wilson was playing poorly, but this roster's devoid of anything.
This might be the best professional quarterback playing football in New York.
Mike, well, it's not. Also, sounds way cooler than it is. I think
it does.
301 yards.
City, though, right?
Can we say 300 yards for Zach Wilson? No turnovers, Mike.
Yep.
That's.
He did fumble. He had a fumble.
Oh, he fumble lost? I did not actually see that one.
He did.
I'll also turn this off. The Texans kept it so.
He was scrambling, got it knocked out.
Yep. Garrett Wilson, Mike, had a nice day. You figure he will when Zach Wilson has a day like this, right?
Zach Wilson's going off. He better be throwing it to Garrett Wilson.
Almost 10. Was it 9 or 10 catches, 100 yards?
Right.
And lastly, Breece Hall, as we told you to play him, right? Play Breece.
Can't run the football for shit, but he sure can catch passes.
Can we stop? I've gotten a couple questions on Dalvin Cook. Can we just let that be what it is? It's done.
I did see somebody who was like, "What do you guys think? You want to buy him?" Yeah, I'll pay a fifth for next year.
No, I won't pay anything.
You might rather have that fifth, huh?
C.J. Stroud, Mike. This was a concerning day in a number of ways.
Maybe there was something to Eric's like weather thing, but if we're gonna do weather, people, it needs to be player specific, right? I'm not fading fucking stars, but even then, right? If you were to tell me that C.J. Stroud doesn't play well in bad weather, maybe you get a little bit of caution, right? But I'm not fucking Zach Wilson threw for 301 yards in the same fucking conditions.
Well, I feel bad. I asked you guys the question. You guys said it doesn't matter. I know it was on the rebuilding team, but we were unanimous on Dameon Pierce over Devin Singletary, and that turned out to not be the right play.
That's true. You should have played Devin Singletary, huh?
13 for 65 and a touchdown and 4 for 9. So Mike, for me, it was better to play Dameon Pierce.
Exactly.
But,
so you should say thank you.
Well, I got to at least put it out there like, hey,
I asked,
and it wasn't my fault. I wasn't the only one that said this. Nico Collins didn't do jack shit today.
He left very, very early with that catch.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
But nobody on this Texans offense was worth the shit.
What do we know about, what do we have anything on this injury for Nico?
Supposedly it's the same calf that he injured earlier in the year that he missed some time, so now you're going to be a little bit worried.
Oh, sheesh. Good.
Yeah.
That's a good way to end. It's a great way to end the recap, huh?
Very sad.
Yeah, that's not ideal. That's kind of a whole arrow down for this offense too, because you're talking if they're out without Nico and Tank Dell.
Now it's Noah Brown and Robert Woods, baby.
And Noah Brown literally didn't do anything today. Robert Woods found a way to become negative today. 1 catch for -2.
I guess you could say John Mechie, but we haven't seen him all year.
Catch for 6 yards.
Let's fire up Xavier Hutchinson, boys. Go pick him up off your waiver wire.
Brevin Jordan, Mike, 3 for 35.
Finally, Adam, that third that you traded me for Brevin Jordan way back when a couple years ago is finally paying off for you, buddy.
Yep. So, cool. Great. It was awesome, right?
Cool. Great. Grand. Love
all right. I think that's all we got, man. Canton, can we get the lights off or something? I don't know.
Turn them off. Let's get out of here, Canton.
All right. Well, I didn't even get the
Eagles,
cool
Cowboys.
turn off, but anyway, Mike is delayed to his game, so let's get over to that. We appreciate everybody tapping in. Hope that recap was good for y'all. We'll see you back here, same time, same place, and we hope that you're in the playoffs. Whether you're in or not, we're going to be doing these recaps for every one of the playoff weeks. So we'll see you back here, same time, same place next week for the recap. We're out of this thing. Peace.
Peace.